the first gift, the first right, the first act of kindness you will ever bestow upon your child. It is not gold, it is not a room full of toys, it is a name. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that this name will be with your child for eternity. He said, on the day of resurrection, you will be called by your names and by your father's names, so give yourselves good names. Most parents do not realize that naming is not just a cultural ceremony. It is a spiritual investment. Modern psychology has confirmed that a name is more than an identity. It is a destiny. Studies have shown that names influence self-perception, social acceptance, and even life outcomes. The Sunnah was far ahead of this. The Prophet changed ugly names to beautiful ones, signifying that a name carries spiritual and psychological weight. The scholars say that naming is a form of supplication. When you name your child, you are making a prayer that they will embody the meaning of that name. Stay for number 1. The names that carry the most weight in the court of the Almighty. Before we begin, we have gathered the daily practices of the Beloved, peace be upon him, into one book. The Sunnah Home Manual, 40 practices, every hadith verified. Now, let us return to the home of the Prophet. Let us learn the Sunnah of naming your baby, and let us uncover the 5 prophetic principles every parent must know. Let us begin with number 1, choosing the best name. The Prophet, peace be upon him, gave clear criteria for what constitutes a good name. He said, indeed, the most beloved names to Allah are Abdullah and Abdurrahman. These are the names that carry the most weight in the court of the Almighty. They mean slave of Allah and slave of the Most Merciful. They are a declaration of Tawheed. They are a constant reminder of the child's purpose in life. But the Prophet also recommended naming children after the prophets. He said, name your children with the names of the prophets. He named his own son Ibrahim after Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. Wait. He also gave the name Ibrahim to the son of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. The scholars explain that naming a child Muhammad is also highly recommended. The Prophet said, whoever names his child Muhammad out of love for me and to attain the barakah, he and his child will be in paradise. The quality of a name is not just about aesthetics. It is about meaning. It is about the spiritual weight it carries. Imagine your child called by a name of a prophet. Every time they are addressed, there is a blessing. There is a reminder. There is a connection to the best of humanity. That is the Sunnah, and it is still available to you. Number 2. The prohibited and disliked names. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was very clear about what names to avoid. He forbade names that imply worship of anything other than Allah. Names like Abdul Kaaba, Abdul Hassan, or Abdul Ali are prohibited because they associate partners with Allah. The scholars also classify ugly and bad-sounding names as makruh, or disliked. The Prophet said, the ugliest are harb, war, and mura, bitter. He also forbade names that contain attributes exclusive to Allah, such as Malik al-Muluk, al-Kabir, or al-Hakim. He even changed a man's name from Abu Hakam to Abu Suraij, saying, Allah is al-Hakim. He also said, do not name your children with bad names, for indeed you are called by them in the hereafter. Imagine naming your child something that means bitter or war. Every time someone calls them, they are repeating a negative quality. That is not a blessing, that is a burden. The Prophet taught us to avoid this. Number 3. The timing of the name. The Sunnah is to name the child on the 7th day. The Prophet said, every child is held in pledge for his Aqiqah, which is slaughtered on the 7th day, and on that day he should be named and his head shaved. This is the recommended time. However, it is also permissible to name the child on the first day. The Prophet, peace be upon him, did this with his son Ibrahim. He said, tonight a son was born to me and I named him after my father's name, Ibrahim. The point is not to delay unnecessarily. The child has a right to a name. The scholars explain that if a woman miscarries after the soul has been breathed into the child at around 4 months, it is still recommended to give the child a name. If the gender is unknown, you can give a name that suits both, such as Jamal, meaning beautiful. Number 4. The right of the father. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught that the naming of the child is primarily the responsibility of the father. This is because the child will be called by their name and their father's name on the day of resurrection. It is also sunnah for the father or grandfather to give the name. However, this does not mean the mother has no say. The scholars encourage mutual agreement between the parents. It is a joint decision, and they should both be happy with the name. The important thing is to consult, to ask the scholars if the name has a good meaning, to ensure that the name is not going to cause the child harm or embarrassment. It is a trust from Allah, and the parents are responsible for fulfilling that trust. Number 5. Changing ugly names. The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to change ugly names to beautiful ones. This is one of the most powerful aspects of the Sunnah. He changed the name of Asiya, which means sinner, to Jamila, which means beautiful. He changed the name of Hazan, which means rough and rugged, to Sal, which means easy and smooth. He changed the name of a man from Bara to Zainab. Bara means pious. The Prophet changed it because he did not like for a person to praise themselves in their own name. This is the essence of the prophetic teaching. A name is not set in stone. If it is bad, you can change it. The scholars classify changing bad names as sunnah. If the name is prohibited, like Abd al-Kaaba, then it becomes obligatory to change it. Imagine a man called Hazan. He had a roughness in his character. The Prophet, peace be upon him, changed his name, and the roughness was transformed. That is the power of the Sunnah. That is the mercy of the Prophet. For 1400 years, this wisdom has been passed from the Prophet, peace be upon him, to his companions, to the families of Medina, who named their children with care and intention, to your grandmother's home, where the names of the prophets were chosen with love. Now science is catching up. It is confirming what we already knew in our hearts, the name that influences self-perception, the name that is a prayer for the child's future, the name that is a source of blessing in this world and the next. These are not just cultural traditions, they are the prophetic protocol for naming, and they are available to you. But let me be absolutely clear. The cures Allah has placed in His creation are not miracles, and they do not replace your doctor's care. They are the means He has given to the Sunnah, and they are blessings. The prophetic practices are not a rejection of modern thought. They are a complement to it. They are the foundation upon which we build our families, trusting in Allah while taking the means He has provided. Now, if you want to explore this further, I urge you to watch our video on the Sunnah of Aqiqah, the sacrifice that is made on behalf of the child. The modern research on community bonding and spiritual significance will astonish you. That video is waiting for you. Click it now, and continue this journey into the prophetic science that heals body and soul. May Allah grant you and your family complete shifa. May He bless your children with righteous names. May He make them a source of comfort to your eyes. And may He unite you all in the gardens of paradise. Assalamu alaikum.